Joining us now, Derrick Hollie. Now, if you don't know Derrick, he's from my neck of the woods in Chesapeake. We're not going to be mad that he went to ETSU in 1985, but during his high school years in Deep Creek High School, right around the corner from our flagship studio in Chesapeake, he knew that, well, he wanted a football scholarship, and he was able to do that, and he's been a leading advocate now of getting energy and pipelines through Virginia for jobs and opportunity. Hey, Derrick, great to have you, man.
Hey, John, how you doing? I appreciate you having me.
Hey, Derrick, I'm in D.C. right now, wind chill -10. I talked to my family earlier today before I got on the air. My son gets up at 5:30 to work out before he goes to school, and he said just go into the workout facility right across the street. He said he was freezing to death. When you get cold weather like this, do people start thinking, hey, it's a good thing we have a reliable energy supply, or what, Derrick?
You would think so, right? But it's just interesting, John, how just hypocrisy comes into play whenever they have the, the opportunities to just talk about something to mislead the public. And so, Reaching America, we address complex social issues that are impacting, minority communities. And we tell people we're focused on solutions not based on right or left-wing views, but what makes sense for a more united America. And energy production makes sense for everyone. And so you look at, like you said, how cold it is right now. I mean, there's a lot of people right now who are struggling, compounded with the federal government workers who had a check. Just imagine people right now trying to struggle to pay their electric bill with the temperatures where they are right now.
Mm-hmm. So let me just ask you something. You get down, Derrick Hollie, you get down to where it's 5 and 8 and 10 degrees and 10 below zero with a wind chill factor. Can we talk about the Atlantic Coast Pipeline for a moment?
Absolutely.
I've been a proponent of this since the beginning. The first time it was conceptualized, I had a chance to go to a meeting, and I'm like, wow, this is what Virginia needs, because this pipeline is going to bring jobs, it's going to bring opportunity, it's going to bring energy, it's going to bring manufacturers into the area, and it's going to be a way to get reliable source of energy through Virginia and North Carolina. Manufacturers can come in, they can tap into it. You'll be able to heat your homes cheaper. If you're in Southeast Virginia, you got a real issue because the energy is going to go to the military before it goes to homes. I mean, we had the same thing that happened in Massachusetts where they had to ship gas in from Russia. What is driving, on a day like today, what drives the opposition to this pipeline, the energy, the efficiency of it, and all the jobs it's going to create?
It's the environmental groups, man. They want keep it in the ground. They don't want any parts of fossil fuels. And what's even crazy is right now in Virginia, there are 2.5 times as many pipelines, underground pipelines in Virginia than interstate highways. But you don't even notice them because they're safe, they're underground, and they don't harm the environment. But here we have these environmental groups who have right now literally put the brakes on this whole entire project. And more importantly than that, there's over 4,800 people who have been laid off right before Christmas because they don't know what's going on with this pipeline right now. And it's just devastating to everyone in Virginia because this pipeline is essential to affordable, reliable energy, for everyone.
Right. It's absolutely insane. And you're from Chesapeake, all right? So
I'm from Chesapeake. Now, what school did you go to? Where are you from in Chesapeake?
Well, I'm not from Chesapeake originally. I went to school. I went to high school in Madison, New Jersey, and
I thought you were down there. Okay.
I played baseball at Fairleigh Dickinson University, but I live in Chesapeake now. And my son's a high school baseball player at Greenbrier Christian. His name is Joseph. He's a freshman. But whenever he doesn't like his homework there, he's like, Dad, can we go to Deep Creek High School? Whenever he doesn't like his homework. So I'm like, no, you got an infrastructure here.
He wants to go to Deep Creek. That's funny.
Deep Creek, and it doesn't say, I want to go to Cox, right? It's just, let's go to Deep Creek High School. Why Deep Creek High School? Well, because they got a good
all the schools. That's funny.
Of all the schools, right? And it happens every time he doesn't like a teacher or his homework at Greenbrier Christian Academy. He says, look, you can save money, and and they're building. And I'm like, well, we live on the south side, right? I'm not going to Deep Creek. He's like, look, they're building a new high-rise bridge. Like, he's got the whole thing figured out. You just take me. It's like you just can't. I said, son, you just can't pick a school and go to it, right?
That is
you can
funny.
do it at a private school, but public school, you got to live there. He's like, well, we can move. It's closer to your flagship. So he's got the whole thing figured out. But anyway, having said that, tell us a little bit about your organization.
Yeah. So like I said, we're focused on solutions, and just addressing issues within the black community. And, if you're conservative, John, you can't start talking conservative to people. So we always lead with, like I said, focus on solutions, not based on right or left-wing views. And so that kind of softens our message as we start delivering. But one of the issues that we do the most work on is reducing energy poverty. And energy poverty, as you know, it's destructive for all communities, but for the black community, it's even worse. And how I got so passionate about energy is, John, when I first graduated from college, I went to ETSU, like I said, on a football scholarship, but I moved back home to Chesapeake, and I got a job right out of college. I was working for Norfolk Southern Railroad as a brakeman down at Lambert's Point. Mm-hmm. And our job and responsibility was loading coal ships that transported coal all around the world. So I've always asked myself the question, if our natural resources are good enough for other countries, then why is it not good enough for us right here at home? And in addition to that, my grandfather was a black coal miner in Southwest Virginia. So fossil fuels, energy has been a part of my life forever, and I know that it can make a difference in other people's lives as well.
So when you say energy poverty, and let's get back to the Atlantic Coast Pipeline, which I'm just so upset that we can't seem to get this thing done and the oil flowing. How would the Atlantic Coast Pipeline, Derrick, Hollie, how would that impact the African-American community, especially in terms of what you say, energy poverty?
Exactly. Energy poverty exists when low-income families or individuals spend upwards of 30% of their total income on their electric bill. 30%. Think about that. And so when that happens, it leaves people in very, very difficult situations, having to make tough choices, like literally, do I eat today or do I pay my electric bill? I can't even give the kids a couple of dollars today because I got to pay this electric bill. And, John, there are millions of Americans who are living like that every single day. What this pipeline does, it will bring affordable, reliable energy at a lower cost to people in Virginia. That's why it's so important that we get this done.
Yes, and along with all the jobs that it's going to create and all the opportunity. And here's the thing, which I know, Derrick, Hollie, you're following this. And by the way, we're with Derrick, Hollie, and he is with his organization, Reaching America. Derrick, what is amazing here is that there's actually a bill in Virginia, and it's put up there. If I were to tell you this, you would think I was reading it out of The Onion, okay? So there's a bill.
The Onion, I know that.
I'm telling you. Put up by House Delegates member Sam Rasool, Democrat from Roanoke. Really nice guy, and he's really smart. So he puts this bill up, and basically the bill makes illegal all forms of energy that are not renewable. So, like, no natural gas, no oil, no coal. So 100% of your energy. This is a bill. Like, if it were to pass, you would not be able to turn your heat on. All the energy would have to be reusable, so solar and wind. And he has a battery system. Solar can take the batteries. Well, somebody did a study of this. I think it was Frank Wagner, state senator of Virginia Beach. And he said, in order for this to work, the entire Commonwealth of Virginia, every inch of it, would have to be covered in solar panels to get enough energy to get through 1 year. I mean, this is the insane thing these people are putting up.
John, the talking points to get their base just all riled up. Oh my God! But what kills me is they have all these, like that bill. But what's the solution? How is that going to work? Did you incorporate in your bill how it's going to work? How we're going to roll this plan out? No, because it ain't going to work. And so that's what bothers me the most is we know that fossil fuels, oil, natural gas, and petrol, right now makes up about 81% of our total energy mix. It was that way at the turn of the century. It was that way when my grandfather was a black coal miner in the 50s and the 60s. Mm-hmm. And even the last EPA director, Gina McCarthy, said that we're going to need fossil fuels at least through 2050. So, John, I don't get it. Why are we playing games with people when we have affordable, reliable energy right here in this country? It don't make sense.
I think you're right. I mean, they just want to fire up their base, and so you do that by putting in crazy bills that don't make any sense. I mean, somebody was telling me at the Virginia State House the other day that they actually talked to Sam Rasool about this bill and said that, it doesn't make any sense because, I mean, we don't have enough land mass in Virginia to even provide a portion of the energy. It would be, the entire state would have to be covered in solar panels. And he was like, that's not the point. The point is
that's not the point.
What do you mean that's not the point?
That's not the point.
I mean, it's really crazy out there. We have got to get this Atlantic pipeline going. It means jobs. It means efficient energy. And especially a day like today where it's so cold out, you really don't think about turning the heat up. You don't think about turning your lights on. You never think about this stuff until you hit the switch and it's dark, or you put the heat on and it's not there. Then you think about it, Derrick.
We take for granted.
You don't think about it, right?
Right. I think even these environmentalists, these millennials, that's mostly who it is, John, they forget where we live, and they take for granted that we have, energy in this country. And the thing, and what's crazy, even more crazy, is natural gas is clean. It's the way it burns is cleaner than anything else, with half the emissions of coal. So, and a lot of people talk about natural gas being almost like a bridge for our nation as we transition into some of these green energy sources. But these people don't want to use anything. And all these millennials up here in D.C. and the ones environmental groups and all that kind of stuff, you live in these apartments and townhomes. Uh-huh. John, the first thing they do is go flick on the switch for that fireplace.
Right,
which is natural gas.
They put on their and they turn on their iPads and iPhones and everything else. And God forbid, the battery goes out. They have a meltdown. So the whole thing is ridiculous. We're with Derrick, Hollie, former football star at Deep Creek High School in Chesapeake. Also starred at ETSU as a football star. Went on a football scholarship, and he is now the head of an organization called Reaching America, which is an organization that addresses a lot of kind of complex social issues like we're talking about today, energy, that impacts the African-American community. And some of the things that Derrick works on are energy poverty, education, justice reform, which we just got a big bill passed.
Yes, we did.
Led by the Trump administration. We've been fighting that battle since the 90s.
And they don't even give them credit for it, John. This is just amazing. It's unbelievable.
Well, and the president gets no credit for this.
For anything, right.
It's really frustrating for those that are Trump supporters like me. I was chairman of his campaign in Virginia in 2015 and 16, and that was a tremendous effort they put forth. And, Newt Gingrich started talking about justice reform before he was Speaker in the 90s. And, it took 30 years to get something done through a number of presidents. And so the president deserves a tremendous amount of credit for that, but because it's long-standing, and it's only a down payment on some of the things that we need. But, hey, Derrick, Hollie, we're out of time. I want to thank you for joining us today. Derrick, Hollie, from his organization, Reaching America, and I really appreciate the time.